Hey, thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to be doing a DIY beach themed souvenir, and we'll be doing that with some fluid art and mixed media. And I'm using this 4x4 just plain wood tile. I'm using this sand that you can find at lots of hobby and craft stores. They use it as filler, and I'm using modeling paste from Artist Loft. And I'm just going to take that out and spread some around on my wood tile to create our sand dune. This is our Friday with friends, and up before me was our guest, Just Janice, and catch her video. If you didn't already, go back and look in my description box and you can find a link to her video. And after her will be acrylic art by Mary Kirk, and then acrylic creations by Jay Whitty will follow Mary, and you want to be sure and check everyone's videos out. Now, I sprinkled the sand on the sculptured creation of the dune that I did, and you can work the sand into the modeling paste if you want, but I just decided to put it on top. It works for what I'm doing, and then you can see there I'm putting straight pins into the sand dune, and I'm letting it dry, and you just have to be careful when you pull these out that you don't, cause any cracking or breaking, because we're just trying to create this channeled kind of hole, and you'll see why we're going to do that and why we need that later on. I'm taping off the upper part of my wood tile because I have poured some Floetrol, a little bit of Floetrol and some acrylic paints together, and I'm going to do kind of a pour. I'm going to kind of drizzle these paints over the sand dune, and so we're using fluid art in this way. We're not doing an actual pour yet, but we're just kind of drizzling it on, and I'm using Artist Loft white with gold opal, and that's Colourarte Vivid Intense, and I've mixed that with some white, and then I've mixed the white with some Extreme Sheen Gold, Deco Art Gold, and just kind of work that around to just create some kind of highs and lows, to create some shading and volume for my sand dune. And then we're going to come back in with some white and highlight it even more. Now, I did make a little mistake here. You can learn from my mistake. I should have kept my pins in there when I was pouring that paint over, and I forgot, but I could still get them in there because I could figure out where they were, so no harm, no foul. And then, as you see here, I'm just putting some of the color back in with my palette knife, and I'm going to work some of the white in to kind of give my sand dunes some volume and shading. Now, just be careful. I let this dry for about 45 minutes, and when you're taking the pins out, you want to just kind of be careful as you take them out. And then we're going to take our tape off because we're going to do the pour for our sky, and I'm doing a flip cup for the sky, and I'll show you kind of how I do that in just a second. I took my pins back out because I'm now going to kind of, with my stir stick, my paddle, I'm going to put the lighter color of the colors I'm using for the sky towards the horizon, right against the sand dune horizon line here, and I'm using a fine brush to kind of get it in there closer to it so you don't have any gaps. And then I'm putting my straight pins back because I'm going to to eventually do the flip cup in the middle. And this is me putting the brighter blue up on the top, and I'll list my paints in the description box. And that's the brighter, I should say not brighter, it's the more deep blue that will go towards the top of the panel. And then I'm going to put the other colors. I'm just doing a dirty cup in a shot glass. I thought this would kind of be a good use of something summertime and beachy. I'm putting my flip cup in a shot glass, and I'm just going to flip that shot glass over. And so that was a dirty pour. You saw how I'm pouring the colors into the shot glass. And I drizzled a little bit of silver in there too, because I find that silver does some interesting things in skies when you use it. And there's obviously the Artist Loft white and Floetrol and my other colors. And just gonna kind of get that spread around and make sure that it's kind of mixed together. So you're gonna let it kind of rest there for a couple of seconds, and then we're just gonna move it on across. And as you can see, it creates some really beautiful effects for kind of like a cloud bank feel. And I like kind of what this looked like. I'm kind of showing you the tilting in real time here. The paints are not moving too fast, which I kind of liked for this because it allowed me to manipulate the feeling of these clouds and this cloud bank that are going to be in the background. And I really like this because we're using, different media. We're using mixed media, but still using some fluid art skills. And then we're going to do some fine arts brush work in just a minute, because we're going to be putting the Oak Island lighthouse. And we recently got a beach property in Oak Island as a rental property. And so if you're ever looking to have a fun vacation in a really beautiful, picturesque town of Oak Island and Southport, those two towns are beautiful coastal cities in North Carolina. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. But the Oak Island lighthouse that we're going to put in here is very different than most lighthouses. And it was built in 1958. And it has an unusual shape. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. But I am just putting some more of my deeper blue color at the top of the sky there. Because I blew a little too much off, because I was trying to get rid of some of that white blobby area where my finger was. Sometimes we get our fingers in there. And I'm just coating the edges to make sure that the edges are coated for the sky.
We've crossed the borderline into our dream. Nothing will ever be as real as this. The flames won't burn our skin. We're thick as thieves, and we know what we do. We live on like an echo. Oh, so take me away to some other place.
Now there's going to be some fast speed sketching as I sketch the Oak Island lighthouse and then start painting it. And as I said, we have a beach rental there in Oak Island, so if you're ever interested in the beach rental, possibly booking some time at our beach rental, we'd love to have you. And like I said, Oak Island and Southport are beautiful North Carolina coastal beach cities, and I will leave in the description box a link to the Oak Island beach house rental. It's called Peaceful Palms, and yeah, come on down. This is going to be a souvenir that I would leave in the beach house for a renter. So I'm going to show you how we even incorporate a cube on the back of this wood tile to create its own easel, so that it will stand up at an angle, on a coffee table or whatever. And so it's just a way to make an interesting souvenir. And I wanted to do this tutorial video just to show you kind of how I would do this. And I think it's kind of a nice little memento to leave for a beach house rental. And what I'm going to do is also put a QR code on the back to my channel, so that the person who receives it could actually go to this video and see how the little beach souvenir was made. So it's just kind of a way to advertise yourself, where you can. We're always looking for different ways to kind of get our names out there, or if people are interested in pouring mixed media or art, it's just just a way to get your channel out there and leave something nice for the renters to remember Oak Island by. Because maybe they get a chance to go down to the Oak Island Lighthouse. It's really neat. It's a cylinder. It is not a tapered lighthouse, that's what's kind of unusual about it. And the colors of the base are different shades of gray. And you're seeing here, this is the point on Oak Island, and it's kind of where the sound meets the ocean. And this is at sunset. It's a popular thing to go to the western end of the island and see the beautiful sunsets there. But as I was saying, the colors of the lighthouse, these different shades of gray, are created because there's different aggregate stone that's mixed in with the cement for each part and each section of the lighthouse. So each section has a lighter stone, like I think the middle piece that's lighter has quartz in it, and so there are different stones that create the darker kind of charcoal color you see at the top, and then the darker gray at the bottom. And that's just kind of interesting because a lot of lighthouses are painted, and this one, it's just built into the stone that was used to create it. So that's just another little interesting detail about the Oak Island Lighthouse. It also has a series of ladders inside of it rather than a spiral staircase, kind of ladder-like steps. And that's also something that's a little bit different. There is a Coast Guard station that has been there a really long time. There's always been some form of a Coast Guard station beside this lighthouse since 1930, so it's been around for a very long time. You're seeing here that I'm painting the highlights of the clouds, but I'm also going to be painting the pelicans. Now, pelicans are around the lighthouse because that area is part of their feeding ground. And so I paint the lighter part of the seagull, and then I paint the darker part afterwards. Just because when you're painting this tiny, it helps you make these seagulls look more authentic and 3D looking. And I'm showing you that I've got these picks from the hobby store. I think I might have gotten from Michael's in the wedding section. These were like organic picks, like flower picks, and so they're creating our seagrass. And I'm using, my PVA glue, and we're sticking them back. We're cutting them to size and sticking them in those holes that we made with our straight pins. And I'm also painting white to the top of the seagrass because white plumes are at the top of the sea oats, and I just thought that was kind of a fun way to incorporate some 3D and mixed media. And so here's our little Oak Island lighthouse, and I hope you enjoyed seeing that, and I really hope you'll come visit us sometime at Oak Island. Like I said, I'm going to leave a link to the beach house rental. I'm going to also have links for all of the ladies that I'm on Friday with Friends with, and be sure and see Mary Kirk right after me. And as I said, the list is in my description box. And I'm showing you here how I've got the wood block on the back, and that allows it to stand up. So you just kind of have to position it to where you have a bit of an angle, and it creates a sturdy, easy easel-like way to make your tile stand up. And you could do anything with these tiles. You could do seahorses, you could do whatever kind of thing that you wanted to do. And I just thought it was a fun, easy way to make a little tile souvenir. And here you can see I put the QR code on the back so that they could go to my YouTube channel and see how their souvenir was made. So I hope you've enjoyed this, and I really thank you for watching, and I hope you'll come back and see me again soon.